As of patch 2.1.3, new events have been added to the L cluster, especially outcomes. Today we're going to be talking about what is arguably the best outcome to come out of the L cluster. Today we're going to be talking about Gray, an interesting little character who may be the most overpowered thing in the game. So, the L cluster, of course, as soon as you find yourself some L gates and you start getting those L gate insights, it's time to crack open that bad boy. First you get the technology, then you get the joy of doing the secret project, or at least the special project, and then it's time to open up the gate. So, a signal has been established. There's a cluster out there beyond the galaxy, but it's quiet. There's nobody home. Everything seems to be desolated. There is a eerie silence. All the planets within the sector have been shattered beyond recognition, and some others are covered in fine dust that appear to be ancient, deactivated nano machines. Now at this point, it's time to close off all the gates and basically close all the borders with everybody nearby, because a lot of the alien empires that are nearby will try to survey the L cluster, and you want to avoid that as fast as you can. Why? Because there is a chance that there is a certain event will spawn which will generate you the most powerful unit in the game. Consider yourself lucky, because this is relatively rare. Alright, so you've closed off all the borders. It's time to send in all the science ships and survey for every single anomaly you can find. Send them out over the stars, because you are looking for a surface signature. A strange signature that emanates from the barren and lifeless surface of a nanite world. And it's kind of curious, because at some point you will find the event, and you research it, and you find a member of your own species standing on the planet. It's a complete vacuum, and nobody understands what's going on, but he comes back to you towards your spaceship, and, well, he introduces himself first, asking whether or not it's time for mating rituals, or whether or not it's time to imbue some beverages and or narcotics. Regardless, this is Gray. Gray is the manifestation of an entire civilization of nanites. Apparently they've been in here for quite some time, and he is their latest little experiment. And now that the gates are open, he can go free. However, you can suggest that he join you, because why wouldn't you want to have the amalgamy of an entire empire into one person with you? He's of course a level 20 intellect after all. Not that that is referring to anything whatsoever. Regardless, once this happens, you can contact him through the contact menu. You have a couple of choices. He can become a warship, he could become a governor, or he could become a military unit. So first let's talk about the governor that he can generate. The governor itself is a level 10, which means that he gets a base 20% bonus to pretty much anything that you're doing within the empire. And on top of that, it also gives you an additional bonus to any sort of output on the planet when it comes to, well, its special trait, which is Nanite Governor. On top of that, any sort of bonuses to clearing lands and that sort of thing gives you an immortal, amazing governor that is a huge asset to any of your sectors that you have him in. Then, yes, we're going to be talking about the Warform that he can turn into. You can just go back towards the contact screen, contact him and say, yo, we don't need you as the governor anymore. I would like you to be a nanite Warform. Welcome to one of the more powerful ground units in the game. He clocks in at 1000 power and does 36 damage to anything on the ground. Sadly, also has a collateral damage of 500%, which means that any population that is on the ground will be annihilated by the nanite Warform. I'm kind of imagining like it's a blob of nanites rampaging across the country, destroying everything in its path. That's kind of what I have in mind over the nanite Warform. And then there's the third option. Contact him again and ask him, look, Warforms are cool, governors are cool, turn into a battleship. And to a battleship he turns. Oh boy, behold the most powerful ship in the game. And if you're lucky enough to open up the gates early on, then you just bought a ticket to Steamroller Town, because at clocking at 36,000 fleet power, this bad boy is absolutely insane. This is basically a great, great confluence ship that normally the Nanite Empires will get, but my god, this thing is incredibly powerful. And again, if you get this early enough, let's put it this way, if the earliest you can open up the gates, you will have maybe around 10 to 15,000 fleet power. Adding 36 to that, and basically having nobody around you being able to compete with that, means that you are about to destroy everything in your path. Mind you, it's relatively rare that this happens, so keep that in the back of your mind. But ASpec, what do you do if he dies? Don't worry. In 3,600 days, he'll be back, because he is literally immortal. He's gonna hang around for a few thousand years, and it doesn't matter if he dies. He'll be back. He stands and falls with your empire. Now, of course, as always, there is a way of finding out which of the L sector events you have rolled. All you gotta do is open up the console, type in debug tooltip, and hover over your empire name. And if there is nothing there regarding nanites, congratulations, the L sector is barren. So you can potentially find Gray in there. Anyway, do you have any comments about the most powerful unit in the game that you can control? The most useful unit in the history of Stellaris? Get a comment in below, because I'm very curious whether or not you have anything to say about this. And in the meantime, give it a like and or subscribe, and we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take good care of yourselves and, as always, each other.